Hi everyone, hope you are having a good day. A quick intro about me. I am Arif. I have been building software for past 6 years, and around a year ago I quit my job and started building softwares for myself. Right now I am running a SaaS called Retro UI and sharing my learnings with everyone through this channel. So most of my content in this channel are geared more towards intermediate builders, but in this video I'll take things to complete basic and share everything you need to know to build your own first SaaS. Alright, the first thing you need is an idea. And when it comes to idea, you have two options you can take. Either you can go to the full innovative route. So these are the OpenAI and SpaceX of the world, where you build something that doesn't exist in the market. You are like one of the first ones in the category. And the second option is just copying an existing successful product and improving that for a specific niche. So for example, you probably know Google Analytics, right? So this is a great tool for checking your web analytics. So how many visitors you have, where they're from, the conversion rate and all that. But this tool is like very complicated and can be hard to use sometimes. So you will see competitors like Plausible, which kind of simplifies this and makes it better for like smaller creators. So this is kind of like a copy of Google Analytics, right? And you can build like very successful companies through this. Like if you can see, they have like 15,000 paying customers, and I think they probably make 6 figures monthly from this tool. So if you are at the early stage of your entrepreneurship journey, I would suggest go with this route, and then maybe once you have a few successful exits and you have a great team and a bunch of startup capital, then I think you can go with this route. So once you have the idea, now it's time for the building stage. I have divided the building part into two sections. This part is for the geeks who cares about tech stack, React, Vue and all that. But if you don't care about this stuff and you just want to launch your product as soon as possible, then skip ahead to the next section for the non-geeks. So if you are still watching this part, I'm guessing you are the geeks. So let's get started. The first part is picking a front end. There's a bunch of options out there. I will say just go with React. It has the most number of toolings around it, so you will have a lot easier time to build a product. But if you are familiar with Vue, Felt or any other tools, just go with whatever you know. You don't have to learn a new thing for building the front end. Next, for picking backend, I would suggest go for Hono, especially if you work with Node.js or JavaScript stuff. There's also Express, which is a very popular one. And if you are not from the JavaScript world, then you can choose whatever framework that is popular in your language, like Laravel if you use PHP, Django if you use Python. You get the idea, right? There's a third option, which is using a full stack framework, which basically means both your front end and back end lives inside one project. If you go to this route, then I think you can check out Next.js, which is my go-to whenever it comes to a full stack framework. If you decide to go with Next.js, I think there's a very cool Next.js starter kit that you can check out. Next.js SaaS starter kit. Yes, I think this one. Yeah. So it comes with a lot of cool features like database integrations, authentications, admin panel, team management and all that. And it's completely open source, so you can check it out. Alright, so next, let's talk about database. There's a ton of database options out there. I have listed a few here like Postgres, MySQL, MongoDB, SQLite. There's also Redis, which is very popular for caching. I would suggest just go for Postgres unless you have a very specific need and you know what database you want. But for the most part, Postgres will have everything that you might need for building a software. Next, for authentication, a lot of people might say just build your own auth. Please don't. That is a big mistake you will make, especially in 2025, because you might just think I'll just add a password and email and done. You will need so much more than just an email or password. You might need to handle forget password. If it's a software, you might need to have a B2B features at some point. So you might need admin roles, member roles, like letting people add their employees, two-factor authentications, and bunch of other stuff, right? So using a third-party authentication service is a must if you want to make your life easy. I would suggest go for BetterAuth. It is open source, so there is no problem of vendor locking or anything. You can have all the data into your own database. But Clerk and NextAuth is also other good options. Alright, moving on. Next, AI coding. I think having an AI coding editor is almost a must if you want the speed. My go-to choice is Claude Code. It is so good, probably the best thing I pay for. You can brainstorm ideas with it, talk about features, how to build them, debug them, saves you so much time. I also use Windsurf alongside Claude Code for auto completions. Next, let's talk about UI library. These are three of my favorite UI libraries out there. Shatcn, which you probably already know, Mentine UI. This is a very underrated and a really cool UI library. You should definitely check it out. But both of these have a very generic and common UI, so every other website kind of looks the same. So if you want something very unique, then make sure to check out Retro UI. It has a bold and unique vibe that can make your website stand out. Let's talk about hosting. If you want to self-host your application, then go for Hetzner. It's possibly one of the cheapest options out there. And then if you want to use a cloud service and have a bunch of VC money to burn, then check out AWS. Also, it has a ton of great services baked into one platform. I know a lot of people love that. So for them, AWS is a great choice. And if you are using JavaScript and don't care about DevOps stuff, then you can check out Vercel or Netlify. They make it very easy for you to deploy stuff. You can just connect your GitHub repo and they will handle everything else. Next, for storage, basically where you store your images, videos, or other large files. So these are some of the popular options out there. My go-to choice is Cloudflare R2. I think it has a nicer UI than AWS and is really easy to work with. You can also check out S3 if you are using AWS or Vercel storage if you use Vercel. A lot of people doesn't do this, but you should definitely have a logging service before you go to production. So if anything goes on in your app, you can tell where it went wrong and how to fix them. There are a ton of logging services out there. These are three options that I have used and can recommend. CloudWatch if you use AWS. You can use Logstash if you use the ELK stack. You also have Axiom, which is a standalone service and probably the easiest one to work with. Next, you need to have an issue tracking software. So basically, whenever users submit a bug, you need to track them, which bugs there are, when to fix them, what features to work next. My go-to choice is Linear. It's the fastest and has the best user experience, so I love it. There's also GitHub, which has its own issue tracking mechanism. There's also Jira, which I hate, but a lot of corporates love it. So I don't know. If it's your thing, you can check it out. I think that's all. Now let's talk about people who doesn't give an F and want to launch as soon as possible and make some money. So for all you smart folks and future rich folks, you have two options. Either you can go for the no-code route, where you probably will have a drag and drop builder and make your website. You have Webflow, Bubble.io, and WordPress. I don't have much experience working with no-code, so I cannot tell which one is best. You can probably check some other videos for that. There's also AI builders, which have got very popular recently, where you basically give prompt and the AI build the software for you. Three of the popular options are V0, Lovable, and Bolt. My preference is V0. I think it writes the best front-end code, especially if you work with Next.js. So once you're done building that app, now you have to think of payments, right? Because you have to charge your customers. There are a ton of payment providers out there. My preference is using Stripe, but I know a lot of countries doesn't support Stripe or it doesn't handle the taxes. So for them, you can check out Lemon Squeezy or Polar.sh. I think Lemon Squeezy have a lot of complaints, so I'm not sure how their service is right now, but I am hearing a lot of good stuff about Polar.sh, especially if you're a dev. You should definitely check it out. Now let's talk about analytics, because once you launch, you need to track how many visitors you are getting, what are their bounce rate, where they are from, and what areas to improve. So the most popular options out there, I think Google Analytics, but I find it a little complicated to work with. So my go-to choice is Post.org. It has a ton of features to track your product performance. There's also Data First, which is getting a lot of popularity in the indie community. Alright, moving on. Let's talk about email, because you need to communicate with your customers, right? Whether to send them verification tokens or notifications or any other way you want to communicate. The cheapest option is using AWS SES, which I personally prefer. But if you are in a rush and want to launch as soon as possible, then you can also check out Resend or Mailgun. So let's say you launched your app and you are getting a ton of users. Now you need to think of customer support, because customer will have problems and you need to provide them support. Intercom is the most popular one out there, but I find it a little more expensive. There's also Crisp, which is a little cheaper. But personally, my favorite is using Featurebase. It has so many stuff. Let me show you. Getting user feedbacks, managing support, creating help centers, showing change logs, accepting service. Like it has so many great features and very nice UI and UX, which I really love. And they also have a very generous free tier. So most of the time for me, the free plan is enough. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I genuinely love the app and recommending it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I covered almost everything you need for building a SaaS. Let me know if I missed anything or if you have any other questions. And if you want to connect with me, make sure to follow me on X if you are into tech. And yeah, that's all for this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.